it's Mo. It is September and it's time to do another Readathon recap. So these are videos that I do every month. After I've done my wrap up for the previous month where I talked about the books, I do a Readathon recap so that I can keep track of all the readathons that I've done throughout the month. So I have already completed my August reading wrap up. Now it is time to do the Readathon recap. One of the reasons that I do these recaps is to remember all the books that I've read, know what readathons I participated in, know what prompts I read for the books, etc., etc. But another reason I do them is to make a huge running list of all the readathons that I've become aware of. You can see that list in the description box down below. This list is divided by months where applicable, and it allows me to look back on it and see readathons that I might want to join for the next year. It reminds me what readathons I have joined. It highlights readathons that I haven't joined but maybe would like to in the future. So let's start with talking about a few readathons that I have heard about recently. Since it's September, just a reminder, we're in the middle of Straya September, which is all about reading Australian work. We're in the middle of Shorty September, which is all about reading short books. I've also heard about Series September. I don't know the details on that one, but that is intriguing to me. A way to catch up on series, especially at the end of the year or the end of the middle of the year to get ready for next year. I also recently heard about Gothtober. That is taking place in October, and I don't know the details of that one either. I will try to find an announcement video for that and leave it linked down below. Also recently, Crystal at Fiber Artsy mentioned Occult Detective October, which sounds super interesting. That readathon is all about reading occult detective novels, so those could be investigating occult occurrences, those could be occult detectives, maybe a vampire detective, or any detective novels that have occult nature to them. The detectives in these books don't have to be professional, they can be amateur sleuths as well. I definitely plan on taking part in that one in October, and I'm looking forward to it. Let's get on to the readathons that I did participate in August. Every month I do the Savidge prompts, which were prompts created at the beginning of 2023 by Simon Savidge and his mom, Louise Savidge. In August, the prompt was to read a book set between the two world wars, and I read Clouds of Witness by Dorothy L. Sayers. This is a Golden Age mystery, and Dorothy L. Sayers is a queen of crime, and this was also my 100th book of the year. I also always participate in the TBR spin, which is put on by Sarah of Freshly Read Books and Jill from the Book Bully. For August, I read As You Wish, a memoir by Cary Elwes of his time working on The Princess Bride. I vlog all my Savidge prompt books and my TBR spin books, so you can check out both of those playlists. You guessed it, link down below. August is also Women in Translation month, and I was able to read quite a few books by women in translation. I read People on a Bridge, which is a work of poetry. I read There Once Was a Woman Who Tried to Kill Her Neighbor's Baby, which is a book of short stories. I read Kim Ji-young, born 1982, which is a Korean feminist novel. I read The Door by Magda Szabo, which is a Hungarian classic work of obsession. And I read Strega, which is a fairly new release, I think released in 2020, by a Swedish author. It's also Garb August in August, which is put on by Criminali, and for that I'm counting As You Wish. And I also read another book about the movie industry called The Jaws Log by Carl Gottlieb. Garb August is all about reading garbage books, trashy books, and that's not a slander on the books that we read during Garb August. Criminali loves and revels in trashy books, and one of the ways that he describes them, or one of the subgenres of trashy books, are books that capitalize on an existing franchise. So books that were written as retellings of movies or books that were written because of movies are often in that category, and I think As You Wish and The Jaws Log both fit into those because they were both written by people in the movie industry about their time making that movie to capitalize on the success of that movie. But they were both really interesting in their own right, and definitely told a lot about how movies were made, especially in the 70s and 80s, and especially in the Western world. Finally, the last month for Book Trek, I was able to read a Star Trek related book. Now, this is a little bit of a cheat because it wasn't an actual Star Trek book, but I read Red Shirts by John Scalzi, which is a very meta book about a crew of a spaceship who realizes that their life might be dictated by a TV show about the crew of a spaceship back on Earth. I'm glad that I did get to participate in Book Trek, and I definitely count this one because they do directly mention Star Trek. Those were all the readathons that I participated in August. Let me know if you have any readathons that you participated in August. Let me know if you read any books for Women in Translation. But definitely let me know any readathons coming up that you know about so that I can add them to the list. This list is for me and for my own resource, but it's definitely also a resource for other people looking for readathons to join, so you can see them laid out throughout the year. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!